Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers, to the scattered elect, the 144,000, and the Israelite foreigners that are scattered among the heathen that look like the heathen, and to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson. And I want to talk about some disingenuous pretenders. These Johnny come late guys, just a few years in, 4 or 5 years at the most, many of them less than that. And all of a sudden they're elders and heads of camps. At this point, I believe that the men of the Great Millstone and the men that teach the likewise doctrine, all right, for the most part, those are the true men of the Lord. WFI and IUIC and ISUPK, Zakari, any camp that speaks with the loudspeaker, 501c3 charter, merchandising camps where you can go and buy merchandise and buy their stuff. They've all joined hands with Esau Edom. Same type guys that make it easy for the demonization of the gospel. Image of them, with their firearms, with their weapons, going to the range, and there's nothing going to the range and going to shoot your guns. Nothing, not at all. But the scriptures does say that we must even avoid all, images of evil. The scripture that I'm speaking of. Can't think of it right off the top of my head. But we must avoid those things. So one thing that just because you own a firearm, the last thing you should do is be in your garments with your fringes on at the range, using it. And it's always these ones, because real tough guys really do move in silence. Just like, it's true. Some of us are former Marines, former military, things like that. We've got experience with those sorts of things. But it's not about that. It's about being a spiritual man, serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, being blameless in your walk. So let's go to the scriptures. I'm gonna go to Ecclesiastes first. This is Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, in verse 1. And it reads, "To everything there is a season and a time and every purpose under the sun." All right, I'm going to jump straight to verse 8. "A time for love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace." All right, right now it's not the time of war for Israel. The weapons of our warfare is not carnal. It's only thing we're supposed to do is go out and teach the law, statutes, and commandments. And so wisdom was not used with this young, how did Martin say, young punk? With this young guy here who's supposedly the head of this group, all right, who really has no experience, none whatsoever. Because a leader with experience would have known not to endanger his men and have them go out in the middle of a protest of a people who's having a genocide committed against them. I mean, that people are literally getting bombed, getting shot down in the streets. Many of those people out there in that protest has lost family members, mothers, brothers, cousins, sisters, wives, sons, mothers, friends, babies. They're cutting off the power in Gaza. They're cutting, and these people got no water. They got the people in the hospital are dying. People on babies in incubators and people on life support. All right, so this is and I'm not saying, and I'm in no way whatsoever defending them. I'm just pointing out the obvious. All right, so you got an army of these people out here who are going through this, which is wrong. All right, it's wrong what's being done to them, however you cut it. All right, regardless if they're heathen or not. The scriptures clearly says that they all belong to us. Those are our heathens. All right? So, point is that these people are being obliterated. And you're going to go out and yell and scream at a microphone on at these people who are already agitated and mad. And there's literally thousands of them out there and only about 20 of you. Then you have another man, Mr. Pull Up Dude. All these wannabe think they tough guys. All right? It's not about being tough. All right? It's about just doing the work of the Lord, man, and being a wise leader. Now, if you're forced to defend yourself, someone try to put hands on you, Jake got to do what Jake got to do. I won't be mad at him about that. What angers me, I'm glad that they didn't take a beating out there and make us look that much worse. All right? But the point is that it should have never happened. Because a wise leader would have just went and talked to. They are all heathen. Who are you edifying? How are you defending the gospel? You were not defending the gospel. You were making us look bad. You were making the body look bad and making it really easy for Esau to demonize us, to take that and twist it and demonize the whole body. And I believe these guys are paid off, man. That's why they did that. And that's why they stay doing that. It's real. So I was, that whole Ephraim dude, that loudmouth, another guy to think he tough. All right. That loudmouth guy, that whole thing that happened in Washington was suspect as hell. All right. And then shortly after that, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was them also who were at the range shooting their guns and their fringes. Just so that the media can get enough images of that, and then that be the picture painted of what we're about. This is Wisdom of Solomon. 18 and 21. Supposed to be a blameless servant, man. Just do the work. That's what we're here to do, man. The Lord gonna give us the time when it's time to turn up on the heathen. All right. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 21. For then the blameless man made haste and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer, and the appropriation of the incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. All right? He was blameless. That's how we're supposed to be. Our job is to go out and teach the gospel and feed the flock. Nothing more. All right? The men that you learned from, all right, which you don't acknowledge, because all of you learned from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for the most part. All right? Including the head of IUIC, and he just refuses to be. He was an elder. He came up under Elder Apostle Tahar. All right? Now, you can't say that about the head of ISUPK, because he was a contemporary with Elder Apostle Tahar. But Nathaniel came up under Elder Apostle Tahar and used to teach just like him. All right? I mean, we have the same doctrine. Because I actually used to watch, Nate in 2006. He was on the internet before the apostles and elders came on. But you can honestly say that this thing blew up and spread to the four corners of the earth. That's why it's GMS camps all over the earth. The Lord set it up, not men. They didn't run to Esau and get a 501c3 charter. Yet their camp spread to the four corners of the earth, for the most part, including Israelite foreigners. The only camp that can really make that claim. All right? Because 2 Ezra 16:73 is going to come. All right? Jacob's trouble is almost upon us. And then we're going to learn who the Lord's true chosen are. But this guy, is calling the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord, wicked. All right, and trying to save face, after bringing the shame, because you best believe that thing went viral. All right, because I was watching the Canadian Prepper this morning and saw him mention it, and I sent it out to a bunch of brothers, and that spread through Israel. A lot of brothers did responses to it. And what did they do? Did they call us the Hebrew Israelites? No, they call us the Black Israelites. That damn word black. All right? And this is a very negative thing, not a good thing. This isn't, we don't roll like Esau. Any publicity is good publicity. That's a lie. That's a complete and total lie. All right? This is Philippians 2 and 15. That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. That's our job. And you know what? And from what I can see, only the brothers of the great millstone and the brothers that teach the likewise doctrine are the ones that are doing that. We're not out there trying to be tough guys. All right? And that don't mean that we some pushovers. We just a bunch of pussies. Because if we were forced to defend ourselves, we would. All right? But typically, the Lord looks out for us. The times that we've had issues in Chicago, when people tried to lay hands on us, it didn't work out well for them at all. And every time it happened, not only did they eat a beat down, the police actually came and defended us. Every time. Why? Because the scripture says that when a man is in league with the Lord, man, even his enemy shall be at peace with him. All right? You remember when a woman out in San Francisco, the Edomite woman, attacked the camp, and then they took that footage and put it on TV and showed them when they pushed her to the ground, when one of the brothers pushed her to the ground. And they failed to show that she hit, kicked, and spat at them and was attacking them and trying to hit them and taking their signs before the brother, shoved her to the ground. And then what proceeded after that? The police came and took her away. So the Lord defends his men. All right? We've even had issues in Chicago where people try to get at us, and Jake, that's out there watching and learning or listening, the Lord put a spirit on them to raise up and put hands on people. We didn't have to. So in your ways, please the Lord, man. Even your enemies are at peace with you, man. And what leader would take his man and take them into a middle of these things that are happening are literally going to lead to World War III. The least of the flock are drawing them out. We all know who the least of the flock is, the small hats. That's our enemy. I shouldn't even be having to do this video. I shouldn't have to be correcting and chastising his brother, man, because we should be locked arm in arm in step. But you know what? There's got to be those who are the opposite of what Philippians 2 and 15. Because many are called, but few are chosen. All right? And this is just some of them unruly children who wanted to do their own thing because they didn't want to fall up under the discipline and be responsible to, to the men that they actually learned from. These guys that run off and just go start their own camps and stuff because they don't want to, because they want to be that guy. You standing on the shoulders of great men, all right, and taking what they've done, and then you try to run with it and make it seem as if the Lord was dealing with you and gave this to you. That's the mindset of these guys. Selfish, wanting to be seen of men. All right? But let me get one last scripture, man, because I was going to play a little bit. I don't even want to hear his voice because this dude irritates me. And I done had a few back and forths with him, on the comment board in times. Not that, in times past. He ain't been around that long. He still got milk on his breath. This dude is young, man. But this is Oh yeah, back in Ecclesiastes. The whole duty of man. Let's read that. Let's go milk. Simple and to the point. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It reads, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Ain't say nothing about pulling up. When you look in an Urban Dictionary, pulling up, like you want to be proud to pull up means you about to pull up and commit violent acts or shoot someone. So to even be using that sort of terminology when it comes to this truth in the men of the Lord, man, it says, for God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So my conclusion is that these men are all agents, that they've all made allegiances with Esau, Edom, and basically these guys and them pull up boys, they these guys, that guy right there. All right, to infiltrate is always every time. There's a Judas Iscariot among us. Every time. And that's what these guys are. You always got that that dude behind you. All right? And that is how I see Wi-Fi, Chief Ephraim, Sakari at this point. All right? And it's unfortunate. Well, I always had my issues with Alazar out the gate. Saw right through that dude, And I thought, that maybe some of his men, there were men among them but these guys want to discredit Paul now, and whole books of the Bible. So then that means you have to discredit Timothy, everything that Paul is a part of. You just have to man, you see what I'm saying? And all these guys have 501c3 charters. Because you can't go out on the street to speak with a microphone unless you got a license to do so. You have to have a contract with Esau to do that. And the scripture said, lift up your voice like a trumpet. So the microphone, on the platform, that's a sign that, hey, to the enemy, hey, those guys are really with us. So the true men of the Lord, matter of fact, let me get that, because we're about to find out, man. And Chief Ephraim is, he calling together all these guys that's gonna come to Chicago or saying this. The Lord might send the Palestinians after you. Might even send some of them O-Block niggas after you. You don't know. Some of them gangbanging O-Block niggas. Some of them wild, crazy ass chop your head off Venezuelans. Some MS-13. You don't know what the Lord is gonna do, man, because you're not going out there to defend the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. You're going out there to fill your own bellies, man. That's what you guys are doing. And so, and as things are deteriorating, and it's falling apart fast, we're about to find out in the very near future, who the true men of the Lord are. All right. But this is 2 Ezra 16:73, and it reads, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Great Millstone is constantly under fire from our own people, from men that are supposed to be standing for Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. We're the most hated. So that actually means we're doing the right thing, because the scripture says the men of the Lord will be hated of their own, will be hated. They hateth him who rebuketh in the gate. All right. So if you all popular and loved, the Lord's probably not with you. All right. Because these guys are doing things, clickbait things for views, And they always lie about the views anyway, and that's really nothing to brag about. You know, it's really not. You know, because I'm not gonna sit up and brag about it. You know, but you know, I've got quite a few videos, and you know, and some of my older videos, you know, had lots of views. But that's not what makes them. You know, it's the content, the instruction, the scripture, the history, the bringing of it all together, the edification. That's what makes it important, man. And that's the only thing that's important. Doing the work of Yahweh Shem Shai, because it's not to the glory of me or the glory of Apostle Gabar, Apostle Tahar. This is to the glory of Yahweh Shai. And you guys, some of you guys, I really, you know, you've lost that. You lost that fire. Maybe you came in on fire until you shook the hands of the devil. All right? Shook the hands of the devil, and now you're backstabbing your brothers. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash, Wa Abab Abal, Kwam Yasharala Shalom.